Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Illustrate Radio Show. How y'all doing today? We are here live with my boo T Gray and my girl Chalk.
Okay.
How y'all doing?
Hey, good in
Happy
yourself.
Wednesday, girls. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yes, you laid and
Happy
slayed to the
hump
gods as
day.
usual. Yes, happy hump day. Happy dry hump day for me because it's super dry over here
I'm telling you.
during this quarantine
Oh,
time.
You and me both.
dry
Girl,
hump.
we on a hiatus over here. But anyway, welcome everyone on my Facebook Live and also on Illustrate Radio, powered by Bliss FM. Again, we have T Gray and Lady Chalk, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on into it. So there's a lot. A lot going on. Start from lay down because we try to have a tempo on the flow. So we hear that Big Meech is going to be released from prison. Anyone doesn't know who Big Meech is, he is from Black Mafia Family. He's the co-founder. So yeah, he decided to go ahead and take another jab after trying to serve out a 30-year sentence, which is kind of crazy. He pleaded guilty to a criminal enterprise, money laundering, and all those types of things. So in April, he decided to file an emergency motion asking the court to reduce his sentence due to this COVID-19, which is actually pretty smart on his part. But apparently his request was denied. His brother Terry, Southwest T, lucked out and was granted an early release over the danger disease posted to his health. So the infamous rapper Tekashi 69, as well as apparently number 45, Paul cohorts Paul Manafort, I'm sorry, my bad, and Michael Cohen, and Detroit's hip hop mayor Kwame Kilpatrick have all been granted early release due to this pandemic. That's actually kind of, I guess, a win for us, um, in a sense, but I guess a win and a loss. How y'all feel about that?
I ain't feel like I lost nothing. I don't even fool with Big Meech. I don't know that man. I don't care if he went out. I don't even know what he did.
Is
Yeah,
he,
I was a
is he more like a
youngin'
36
when
Mafia
Big
family
Meech
Big
came
Meech
through. I
anybody?
was a youngin'. Like, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
he's
guess I
been
Right.
in
was
jail
super
probably as
duper
long
Yeah, I
as
young.
was a
I've been able
baby
to show off.
Yeah, I guess that was
too.
before my time. That's probably before my time. So yeah. Anyway, so we got some good news coming to the motherland. Def Jam promises to bring hip hop. Okay, in a new way. We gonna see about that. Def Jam is not the first rap label to exist. Of course, we know that, but it's the first one to become international with the hip hop culture. So it should come as no surprise that the grooming shop for LL Cool J, Jay Z, DMX, Kanye, Rihanna, Rick Ross, Pusha T, Frank Ocean, Justin Bieber, Jeez, they have an extensive list of like endless artists. And now they're venturing into the African American sector. So that's a pretty dope move, I think. According to the Def Jam label, Def Jam Africa is a new division on this continent dedicated to represent the best hip hop and Afrobeats and trap talent in Africa. Based out of Johannesburg, South Africa, Nigeria, DJA will identify and sign artist talent from every corner of the motherland. So, I think that is actually a pretty dope thing. I just want to make sure that it's presented on the right stage and right format, and they're not going to be taken advantage of, because I know sometimes we go along with the hype and we're like, oh yeah, Def Jam is for the people, blah blah. But I'm also going to look at how many of these artists that they signed are still around, are still signed to them, that type of thing. So just make sure they don't take advantage of the culture. You know what I'm saying,
But you know what though, the
ladies?
way of music and the way of how music flows, stuff that is hot in the US like 10 years ago is hot in Africa like now.
Right
You know
now,
what I mean?
it's delayed. It's a little delayed. Yeah, it's a little
Right.
delayed.
That's how so many big names can leave here after their careers have kind of simmered down. They go to Africa and they kill it over there. Um, so I think because Def Jam is making that move and is creating something that is just for them, especially incorporating the Afro beats and their top talent. First off, I ain't African, okay, by no means, but let me tell y'all, you play me some Afro beats,
By
dang,
every means, you African. What you mean?
I will be every bit of
We all from the
African
motherland.
you understand. I will let
Okay,
the
you from
cat
the
out.
motherland,
I
girl.
will start to shake my butt. I will grind on all they made for you. You don't understand me. That's all it takes. One song. One song and I'm
We wish
sold.
everyone on my live could hear my T grade. Go ahead, in with the accent. Go ahead.
That's all I have for you.
I
don't have
love it.
anymore. I had to put my accent down. You bitches, you want too much. You American bitches want too much from me.
Damn, Bob, y'all can't even hear him.
For it. Like seriously, I know the world is not ready or open for travel, but that is something I feel like that would be like just an entire experience to be over there and maybe even go to one of the concerts and just see how Def Jam
They do
makes
have
it there.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
I would be
Yeah.
excited to go and be a part of that. That's music history being made over there.
Yeah, they do actually have a lot of different type of concerts and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts, Shock?
I'm just listening in because I'm not a big Afrobeats listener to, but if I listen to it, you know, I'm on my shoulder. So I'm just listening to the convo.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that it's actually.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to cut you off, baby. Go ahead.
So, real quick, because
Yeah,
we missed our whole flow of the show. Okay, first things first.
we gonna grab it.
Okay, we need our chalk chat. We need our just my luck. All the love, man. You know what I mean? People be looking for this stuff. Lucky, what you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Okay, my bad. I missed the whole flow. Okay, so I done went a whole step ahead. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I just like to kind of jump right into things, and I didn't have that in front of me. So usually I'm together, but I'm a little under other stuff. So anyway, yeah. So it's just my luck. I actually wanted to talk about this really briefly. There was someone who was taken away this weekend who was very important to my extended family, and it was under circumstances that shouldn't even be present or in the same sentence with someone who was elderly. Most people who are older, you know, they pass away from old age or something like that, but never being taken away in such a heinous crime. So I definitely want to send my public condolences to that, because I just feel like it's been a lot going on this past weekend. We lost a lot of important people in our culture and everything like that. And I'm so glad that I am now seeing this uprise and this anger and also this togetherness kind of amongst us. And yeah, so that's my little venting. I just think that we need to go ahead and get our shit together and start loving on each other a little bit harder and understanding how to play offense versus defense all the time, and trying to get a step ahead in those types of things with one another as well in unison. So I'm glad that I'm seeing it now, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. So yeah, rest in peace to her and that family. I don't really want to say their names and everything like that, because I didn't really ask them to do that, but I definitely wanted to publicly send my condolences to them. So yeah, man, I just hope that they find justice. And if you know something, I know it's like, you know, we're probably not trying to say anything, but at the end of the day, we got to kind of make sure we hold one another accountable for our actions and stuff like that. So, and let the people who we kind of we don't even trust these pigs, but we kind of you know, just let them do their thing instead of trying to keep it on going. So yeah.
Right.
That's my thing. Yeah.
What up, Chalk? You got some Chalk chat, Chalk? You kind of quiet today, Chalk. Catch your tongue.
Nah, I'm just listening, and I've had a long day, and it's just been a long, like Lucky was saying, like it's been a lot going on, racially, illy, like just a lot going on, just a lot going on in the world, period. I know you guys heard, or you may not have heard of Central Park Karen, as they call her, a young lady, or I don't know how young she is, but a white woman, was in the park in Central Park, in a park called it's Rumbleton or Rummington or something like that. It's a part of the park, and the entire park is supposed to be leash. So your dogs are supposed to be on the leash throughout the entire park, and that's the rule for the park. And there was a bird watcher there, and he was of black descent, or he looked black. He seemed like he had an accent, so I don't even know if he was black, but she assumed that he was
he was
black.
definitely.
They got
he definitely was black.
He was black. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
They got into an argument over her not having her dog on a leash. And so he videotaped her as she's calling 911, and she's, acting frantic as if he's got a knife in her neck, talking about, bring the authorities now, please come. You would think that her life was in danger. And it irritated me to listen to her and watch her in hysterics. This man was calm. He never raised his voice. He asked her to back away from him. She's Meanwhile, while she's doing this and lying to the officers, or not lying to the operator on the 911 call, she is choking and pretty much almost killing her dog that isn't on a leash, because she grabbed him by the collar. So the dog is like hanging on for dear life, about to die. So I'm freaking out more about the dog than I'm pissed off about the racial profiling, and the fact that that was just flat out racism. But then on top of it, you over there, you know, you're exhibiting animal cruelty by choking the heck out of this dog. And karma got her. Her job did, reprimand her. I think they put her on suspension and they fired her. Which, I mean, I commend them, but I mean, they're like, we don't want to condone that. We don't want to be affiliated with that. And I appreciate that, because with all the stuff going on that, with the police killings and, white people just calling the cops off of any little thing, you need to make it unacceptable. It has to start somewhere. And it starts with people reprimanding these people, like, calling them out. Yo, you can't do that and work here. You can't do that and come here. You can't do that. It has to start somewhere. And I feel like everybody who has an unnecessary call, white, black, yellow, purple, whatever your race is, if you calling the police for no reason, if your life ain't in danger, if someone else's life isn't in danger, I feel like those people need to be held accountable and get a fine and do jail time for doing that. Like, if you didn't have a real reason for 911 calls, you shouldn't be, like, you should be held accountable for that, because you're wasting tax dollars, and you're causing a scene, and you're making all this for what? No one's hurt, and someone else's life could be in danger as you're making these false calls and stuff. So it's just like, it's a lot that goes into that. And it's like, I felt for the dog. I think they took the dog from her too, which thank God for that. Because y'all know me, I'm an animal lover. Y'all know I have a dog of my own. I got a little cousin Yorkie that my uncle brings over for my poodle to play with. I love my dogs. I love animals, period. I have a heart. And you like somebody like that, you just got hatred in your heart. Lord knows what you do to that dog when nobody's looking. So it was an all around bad thing, and it disgusted me about just the cruelty and the racial hate. The racial hate, it just got to me. Like, why are you that upset over someone? I just don't understand it, especially when we're going through this. This is a time where, like he was also saying, we need to love on one another a lot more.
Right, most definitely.
We can't hear you, Luck.
We can't hear you, Lucky. So, but while Lucky is working
I'm sorry,
on his sound,
my bad. I got it together. I did by accident. Okay,
Okay, while you were
I'm
about to
promise
work
I
on your
sounded together. Right, it's together because I did that on the keyboard. Not even I got you. Okay, so I was about to say I'm gonna break it down real quick to the reasons why racism is the way it is, because you have to understand animals, they attack when they're in fear, right? So usually an animal's works on the defense. They say be still, act like you dead, don't move, whatever. All right, pretty much they're Neanderthals. And it's a known fact. Like they have human DNA and Neanderthal DNA, but that's another topic. But they fear us and they fear the power that we possess. The only thing that is the worst thing though is that we don't realize the power that we have. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, anyway, that was her doing that. She should have been held accountable. She should be charged a fine, just like how ADT gives you a fine when you do a false alarm. Yeah, fine that ass. I'm glad her ass was fired from her job. I'm a pet love. I like pets and everything. I'm not like a lover of pets, but I definitely am glad her dog was removed as well, because he was being strangled and like like trying to choke for air. And yeah, man, it is very sad that and it's super counterproductive. Like, but that's the shit that we got to deal with, man. And we don't really have to deal with it. And I'm glad that we do now. Like,
especially in a crisis like this. Yeah. You should not be having to worry about hatred or looking over your shoulder to jump. Like everybody should be, coming out of the house for essential things anyway. You just trying to go to the store and get some milk, and you got to fight with Betty in the parking lot because she don't like her life, or she don't like what's going on with her. So you got to argue with her about a parking space. It's crazy. I had a lady in Harris Teeter. I'm on a phone call with my godbrother. I'm on FaceTime. So I'm, the mask, you can't really hear or, understand what people are saying. So I'm trying to talk loud. I've got the mask up to like my nose. My nostrils are covered, but you can see the tip of my nose. Do you know the security guard, she chased me down to let me know that my mask wasn't high enough. And I'm like, lady, I got on gloves. I got on a mask. You see me on a phone call trying to talk to somebody. So I'm clearly trying to have a conversation. You going to stop my conversation, chase me 3 hours down to let me know that I'm not doing it right. And she had the head roll and everything. She looked at me like a little young girl that she could boss around. I'm like, and this is after the shooting of the security guard. So I'm like, people like you, no, I don't think that you should get shot. But this is how things happen. This is exactly how they happen. You so busy worrying about other people not. Are you okay? I'm not coughing. I ain't got red eyes. I do not look like I'm showing symptoms. Though some people aren't symptomatic right now, I'm not doing anything that's a danger to anyone around me. I was pushing the cart with my arm, not even my hand, which had a glove on it. So it's like again, it goes back to what you're saying. We got to start loving on each other more. Like, I don't understand. Like, I've been so much more nicer. So much
matters.
Yeah.
Like I'm healthy and I'm humble about that. So I want to help others. I'm not into being now. I have gotten a little frustrated now. The streets have gotten more cluttered with people and traffic. I do got a little attitude, but I'm being nice to other people because I'm glad I'm here. I could stop breathing today. I like this thing is just taking you out and it's just affecting people differently. So I could either blister up or I could just go into cardiac arrest and die. So either way, that could be my tomorrow. So why be mean when you can love on people today and get your good karma up. Ain't nobody perfect in life. So I mean, we all should just try to take a step back and look in the mirror. You're not perfect, so just try.
Right. But next time, Chalk, let me tell you something. Don't you let me walk in on Harris Teeter and see you in there with your mask not all the way up your nose.
Don't let it happen.
So real quick,
I said I probably haven't worn a mask. I worn a mask, but I haven't worn it the entire time, and I don't wear it properly. I went into Dollar Tree earlier today, and as I walked through the whole store with no mask, and as I'm coming to the register and walking out, the lady says it's the law to wear a mask. If somebody comes in here, they're going to fine you. And I said, who is going to find me? The police? She said, a health official or the police. I said, where is it written down in the law or in Congress? Where did that pass to say that I had to wear a mask? I'll wait. You're sitting here covering plastic over the keyboard. Over your keyboard that everybody else is touching, and you're not wiping that down, but you're worried about me being a mask. You need to be worried about surfaces, not airborne breathing. I'm not sneezing, But anyway, that's the next topic. Go ahead.
We do have to be concerned about things being airborne because it can travel 6 feet. And the mask that we wear, the masks that most people wear, they are merely a protection from us touching, our own faces and things of that nature. But I think that if you go into the store and it's a clear, visible sign on the door to say, hey, wear a mask to come in.
I didn't intentionally do that. That was actually intentional.
I'm just saying, but because of what's going on, because of these days and times, it's like, yo, just comply. Like, it's not, ain't nobody asking for no blood.
I'm not going to subscribe. I'm sorry. I'm just saying the facts of the disease.
Right, go ahead.
Like the disease itself, these masks that we're wearing, it's not protecting us from that. It can come right through it. The holes aren't big enough. It's a known fact. That's been known that they're saying that the mask that most of people, your shirt, your cloth, the same mask that you go into your car, touch your hands and your face with and touch all your other surfaces with is the same mask that we keep rotating around. Hey, beautiful kids. Please. That we're wearing, we're touching all of these different surfaces and we're still carrying those same germs. So I'm just trying to figure out what are the masks doing? Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Because let me get it together. But anyway, go ahead.
I think it's more of a like my niece, for instance. She was the day I had her sitting in the cart at Walmart and I had her mask on. Little kids, they sneeze. She just sneezed out of the random, but because that mask was right there, we didn't have to worry about covering her mouth or her getting germs on her hands from covering her mouth and getting that germ on her hand. Now, yeah, we had to change her mask and everything, but that's fine. That germ didn't travel 6 feet because it got caught in that mask that she was wearing. So it protects the people around you. Now, let's say my niece decided to sneeze right next to you. Because she's got her mask on, that just protected you from a sneeze. You ain't got the liquid on you now because she's got her mask on. So I think that's another reason why they say wear the mask, because it's protecting, it's saving other people from you, or vice versa.
Okay, but I'm telling you that it's a scientific fact that it's not protecting us from a sneeze, that the germs are still coming through. The germs fly in the air. It's 6 feet from 5 feet from 8 feet. There are endless doctors saying that and supporting these facts, but I'm just not subscribing. It's 80-degree weather outside. If you listen to the facts they told y'all previously that it can't survive in 80-degree weather, it's just going to be through flu season type of thing. You're sweating and you can't even breathe with the mask on in your face, and your hemoglobin levels are getting lowered and you're being more susceptible and more prone to the disease anyway. Like, I do my research. I'm just not subscribing. I'm not talking to anyone with the mask on. You got a mask on. I'm just not even going to. Outside, especially walking in the public. In the store, I'll respect people's space and the general rules of the census, I guess. But out in public, walking down the street, outside, no, I'm not wearing a mask, sorry. Or in my car, I'm not doing it either. And when I have the mask on, I throw that same mask away, or I wash it and put it in a plastic bag. But other than that, we're transmitting germs. But anyway, my bad, boo. We over here, like, we getting real passionate now. See, now we got our flow bag. So what you got for us, T? Great? For the love below.
I ain't got nothing for y'all, okay? Because y'all both just plucked my nose. Oh, no, man. Actually, my love Ann kind of bounces off a little bit of what Chalk was saying, because my love Ann was going to be loving Karen. So Karen is now the universal name for white women who do too much. Okay, that's just across the board, across America. We've given her that name. And I think it is very interesting that society, us as Black people, felt like that depiction had to have a name. And that is always somebody on that end, the opposite end of us color-wise, that is constantly offended, constantly upset, always in fear of what we are. And it's crazy to me because white people have come from a long history of being the ones who inflict the fear upon us. Like that's what this country was built on. The country was built on us being slaves, not having weapons, not having knowledge, not being not with the wherewithal to contend with modern day technologies, what they had at that time, which was their weapons, which was their some of the mind games and manipulations that they use just as corrective tools to enslave us. So here we are 400 years later, and you talking about you scared. And what Chalk was saying about the lady, I think her name is Amy something, I can't remember her last name, in the park. What was so upsetting about that video, and for me, wasn't the dog, even though it was fucked up what was happening to that dog. Okay, I feel bad for that poodle because that dog was damn near being killed.
You being racist and being cruel to an animal.
Right, but what she said before she called the police, what she said when she got the phone in her hand before she called the police was, "I'm going to tell them that there's an African American man bothering me." Right. That's the part of the video that pissed me off the most, because you have this, the people talk about white privilege and we see it, we hear it, whatever. That was the most visual white privilege besides what we're going to go to next and spit that ish. But that was the most visible white privilege that she enforced, that she exposed, that she just, you know what I mean? It wasn't even the fact that I'm breaking the law or the rule or whatever the case may be. It was, they're going to respond to me because I'm a white woman making this complaint and you're an African American man. And no matter what happens, you're going to be wrong because you're an African American man and I'm a white woman. I used to, in the past, before things got so crazy, I used to always joke around with people and say, you know what, I'm going to write an angry letter. And because my name is Tiffany, they're going to listen to this shit. But it was the reality of the things. People sometimes will read your words, look at your name, look at your resume, whatever the case may be. And if you come off with a name like LaQuanda as opposed to Tiffany, you get viewed differently. Right. Or Lakeisha, you get viewed differently. And just to see that stereotype play out, just to know that white women, all they got to do is pick up a phone and whoever is black in the room or in the vicinity is now the person that is wrong. Very rarely do white women get held accountable for their actions, for them lying about situations, for them just exposing or inflicting upon other people their privilege. And it's sad. And it's sad that when the officers arrive, 9 times out of 10, the officers are also white. The officers also listen to this white woman, aka Karen, tell this story of, oh, I'm so scared. Oh my God, they're having a cookout. Oh my God, he wants me to put my dog on a leash. Oh, I'm so disenfranchised because I'm a white woman who can't do everything I want to do all the time. And I'm telling you that, you guys, I am tired of Karen. I am tired of the tattletale.
Karen, Amy, Julie, Billy, Bob, Joe.
Right. I'm tired of the fact that this society allows it to be so that it is okay for a white woman to lie and make any kind of complaint on any person of color, and it just goes. It's all right. It's all right. And it still, like I said, brings us to our next topic, and that's that ish, because if ever there was something more disheartening about what white people do to black people and how more visible it is, it would have had to be the death of this young man. it's sad, yo. I don't even want to talk about it. I ain't even gonna lie to you because it's
It broke my heart when I opened up my phone early in the morning and saw it, and all I said was, "They killed another one of us." And I'm like, it's so visible. You put this on camera, and I'm watching at least 4 or 5 men not do anything to try to save this man's life. Not, yo, get off of him, or like, it broke my heart. I still can't wrap my head around what I watched.
Let me say this though real quick, because I thought about this, yo. I thought about this. The people who taped it, the people who filmed it, the people who were standing around, the reality of what was going on while they were watching that man die, had any one of them stood up to say, don't kill that man, you're hurting that man, or try to infringe upon it, or try to stop it, or try to do anything, it would have been 2 dead Black people instead of 1. It would have been 3 dead Black people instead of 1. If anybody could tell me that they don't believe that those other officers there wouldn't have killed anybody else who tried to stop that man's death, I wouldn't believe it. It would have been more than 1 dead Black person. And I'm not saying that that man's life is worth more or less than anyone else. But I thought about that. I thought about that long and hard. Was like, yo, it's so messed up that when these things happen, it's being caught on camera and nobody says anything to the camera. Like, why is the cameraman not putting the phone down? But then I had to say, well, what if I'm in cameraman's shoes? It would have been 2 of us dead. That's the reality of it. It would have been 2 people dead. And maybe nobody to tell the story. You know what I mean? It's 6 in one hand and 6 half dozen in another when it comes to things like that, because just as easily as they tried to show how that man killed and they said, you know, he was resisting arrest, here you go with a store owner. And I'm so happy that the store owner was a Black man with his camera from his security footage and say, hey, this is this man not resisting arrest. So what's going to come down the pipe for that man? Of course, that man should be arrested. He should be held accountable. He should be sentenced to death. That's just my personal opinion. And it's just, it's absolute. It's sad. It's sad. And then he was a good dude. He was a good dude. Like, of course, you guys, if you know, haven't heard about it, we're talking about George Floyd. Of course, footage has been out for the past few days of the officer kneeling on his neck, cutting off his air supply, and he murdered him. And everyone has watched this man die just about. But it's sad. And then it came out later on. His brother is an ex NBA player with a former star, and so that's going to be.
They look identical, by the way.
Yeah, hopefully that's impactful. But what I also saw was the officer wearing a hat that said "Make America White Again." So here you are, blatant racist on the police force, which of course the police force is just a racist institution, period. I don't care how many Black officers are hired. It started out because they had.
That's like saying the police is like saying, oh, I got a Black friend when it comes to Black police officers. Right. Oh, I'm not racist. Oh, we hired Black people. I'm not racist. Oh, my partner was Black, but you would watch that same partner get shot. Everybody needs to go to jail. Everybody needs to get the death penalty because it needs to be a life for a life at this point. I couldn't sit there if that was my brother, if that was my sibling. I'm dying too because I'm going to try to murder everything moving. You think I'm going to be sitting there recording that shit? But he was out of town. He wasn't in his neighborhood. Yeah, man, that whole situation was super unfortunate. Like just to watch him take his breath and man, this shit. Like it's like, when are we going to get tired enough? Like, when are we just going to say enough is enough and not reposting, and we need to just pick that shit up, man. We just need to pick it up.
Yeah, I was watching the reel and the young ladies were talking about Ahmaud and him getting shot by the 2 what were their last names? McMichaels, I think it was. But
the two pigs.
yeah, them pretty much murdering him, and they were doing a virtual show, and right before they started taping, she had got finished watching the video and she was crying and she was just in hysterics, and I was looking, I was like, she's like really in hysterics. And then when she finally said that that's what she had been watching, I had understood why she was in such hysterics. And after watching this video, this recent video, I'm feeling how she felt, and it's just like, when is it gonna end? I'm just so tired of it. Like every other day, there is some kind of violence towards Black people. Either a white woman calling 911 or a police officer killing somebody. There was another news story about an officer shooting a Black man in the back 9 or 10 times recently. And I'm just like, when is it gonna stop? Like,
it's going to stop
I don't get
when we say, and I said this before, and I'm like actually saying it being serious. Like, it's going to stop when we say, all right, fuck this shit. Fuck this justice system. Fuck everything else that is counterproductive towards making sure that our people are safe, that we're protected. We are the most murdered and yet the most unarmed people ever. And it's in the stats. It's in the stats. We are least likely to have guns than any other, from whites to Hispanics. We are least to have it. And I literally have the stats. And man, that's when that shit's gonna stop. It doesn't even matter. Yes, I guess the political factor does matter, but we gotta stop, man, even subscribing to that. We need a coup d'etat. And I know that sounds really extreme, but we've had revolts and we've had rebellions before. Like, we come from a great line of being rebellious and actually having an uprising, actually tipping the scales back in our favor, because all of this shit belongs to us. So that's where we need to go with it. But yeah, and this is just my opinion. It's not opinion of anybody at the station or, no reflect on anyone else. But yeah, man, that shit is super sad. So moment of silence for him and everyone else that we've lost in like senseless crime and violence and police brutality and being victimized in so many different ways, man, and being targeted in so many different ways. And it's just time for us to make sure that we protecting our boys, we protecting our communities, we protecting our women and our children. And we need to get back to that sense of those little simple hood, not demands, but commandments. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into this Mike Tyson now, because Mike Tyson reportedly offered more than $20 million to his first single match since 2005. I feel like we talked about this, or maybe it was like, who we want to see him fight. You know what I'm saying?
We
like,
established that old ass needs to sound somewhere.
Yeah, like, like, what is the incentive? I'm so like,
$20
million. That part out of it. I mean,
$20 million.
I guess I would say $20 million.
Just through this screen.
all that. Right? I mean, he owns the shit. At this point, he need to donate that to charity. So that fight need to go to charity. Like, and in all of this, we like to just have a little bit of light and love, and it's really good, especially when it's our own. And so we're gonna do a little reflection on that. Waka Flocka is dedicating his whole entire life and everything to suicide prevention and mental health. And Mental Health Awareness Month is this month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I am very big on therapy and everything like that. So apparently he is as well. He appeared on Viceland I guess the actual show called The Therapist, where he spoke with Dr. Sari Said Nam Singh about how he coped with his loss of his two brothers. And actually, if anybody knows, losing someone is very that happens to us all the time, and it's kind of crazy because we don't really know how to like deal with it. And instead of dealing with it, we tend to like hide behind other substances that can be abusive or can be used as drugs. I believe that flower power is definitely not a drug. It's an enhancement. But if you're going through things and you're using that as a coping mechanism, or you're popping pills every day, like Walker stated in the review, you'll realize that some things can be an addiction, even things that are deemed as normal or acceptable behavior. So shout out to Walker and him, doing all that. Like, that's what's up.
Yeah, I think that.
What y'all thought about that? Yeah.
Because suicide prevention and mental health, especially right now, I'm sure mental health issues have probably risen just due to coronavirus. And there's a lot of different people who are trying to help. Entertainers, of course, like Waka Flocka. Taraji P. Henson had an initiative to help with some of the mental health issues following the coronavirus, but I think it's very, very big. And then he speaks from a very true place. What he's going through, what he uses as his mechanism, as his coping mechanism, that's half of America right now. You know what I mean? People just trying to get through. Yeah. I'm going to smoke one when I get finished with this talking to y'all just cuz. So, so I definitely understand, but I think that it's big because even though he's not necessarily in the limelight too much, he still has a humongous following, and his following is young, Black, 30 and under. And typically that's the age group that gets neglected when it comes to mental health. That's the age group that does overlook it because they're always self-medicating instead of addressing the real issues. So,
right.
I think him being, a spokesperson for it, or even beginning an initiative, will definitely tackle some of the younger demographic that need the help.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we got the next, we got the hot take coming up. You know what I'm saying? So, how to deal with it when you want to leave, but the person that you with won't work it out? Yeah. I don't know how men are, but women, when we want to leave and you just finding out we want to leave, we done left you. We done left you like 6 months, maybe a year. It depends on how long or how tangible it is. Because sometimes you got to predict the exit strategy before you cut. Because usually they are before the screams. It's the soft talking, right? So listen to the screams listen to the silence really before you listen to the screams. And we usually talk and tell you what's going on. So if you don't catch it and we finally confirm it for you, we done already gone. So there's really no working it out for us, at least, unless you kind of crazy and we kind of like gotta make sure we gotta disappear off the face of the earth type shit.
Let me tell y'all, I lived in that situation and it sucks. And you're absolutely right. When we're ready to go as women, we're ready to go. But what bothers me is the dudes who don't want to just let it go. You know what I mean? They want to put up a fight. They want to put up a front for people. They want to act like, it's still something. You still gonna love me. I'm gonna make you love me. No, nigga, you not gonna make me do nothing.
Literally onto my car, dragging him down the street. I was like, I don't want to be with you no more. And this nigga was hanging from my window. I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I don't want to be with you no more. This is ridiculous. How are we even gonna come back from this? You're hanging from the back of my car. So where are you going? I'm leaving you. Oh my gosh. I needed therapy. And people thought I was crazy. They thought he was crazy. They thought that I was like being mean to him. I'm like, I don't want to be with this person anymore. He's crazy. There's a person y'all don't see when we go in the house, and I don't want to be with that monster. I don't want him no more. And this dude, like, literally hung on the car from his complex to my mom's complex. Though it wasn't that far of a drive, I'm not hanging on to a car at all, let alone that long. And still trying to hold on to it. That's holding on to a relationship too hard. I was like, no. So yeah,
Man,
So what
I just say
heard in that story was Sean got that kryptonite. That's what I heard.
my thing is, don't force it. Like, if the person wants to leave, if the person wants to leave and they feel as though you feel as though they're so valuable, or vice versa, let them roll out. That's the best thing you could do, because I'm telling you, when you seem desperate, it is such a turn off. It is like, if you would have like let me go, because sometimes reverse psychology works. Be like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. They be like, why you want me to leave now? Like, you wanted to leave though. You the one who said you was trying to roll out. All right, go ahead, roll out. Have a good time. Holler at you and holler at you. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. And you might even have a better chance of them coming back. But when you men, I'm telling you, I don't care what women say. Do not beg and plead. Like, if she's fed up and she's already over it, do not beg or plead, because you have lost her respect in that very instant. You said, baby, please. Woo, you should have been doing that months ago when I told you what it was and the reason why I'm fucking leaving today. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just save your pride and put that all to the side or whatever, and let that shit rock, because no bueno. All right, so how y'all feel about that? My bad, because I'd be ready to like.
I think there needs to be some rules. There needs to be some rules, or at least a good exit strategy on how to roll out. Because so us as women, we're probably a little bit more used to dudes who don't want to leave. And I think it's a little bit different for us when we handle it and how we have to handle it. First off, because ain't none of us trying to end up in nobody's trunk or in the river or no place else. And Chuck got dudes hanging off of cars. He 2 seconds off of killing.
I got kidnapped before, so I know.
So I think it needs to be.
That's why I said
I want to end up.
All right, so this is going to be my number one rule. I think that it needs to be, make sure that when you leave, depending on the urgency when you leave, you got your bag together. And I'm not talking about like a physical bag with your clothes and stuff, because you might, for some situations, you might have to jet. You might not even have any like chance to grab anything. People are in those violent types of situations. So build your bag first, because money will be able to get you a little bit of a leg up. Now, if you cannot do those things, build a network. If it's one of those situations where there's a lot of violence involved, when you go to the grocery store, make that contact with that person. Or because a lot of people are also willing to extend a helping hand. So secure your bag by securing your safety and your safety net. That's going to be my first rule. And don't tell the person. It's like,
I'm gonna give rule number 2. When you say you're gone, you gotta be gone for real. You know what I mean? If you are no longer in love with a person, if you no longer want to be intimate with a person, you can't then stay in that same house. You can't stay under the same roof. You can't, I'm gonna take the bedroom, you gonna take downstairs. It don't even work like that. When you gone and you gone for real, go ahead. Go ahead on, because any day past that, any moment past that, you're giving some false sense of hope to that guy. Just the fact that that guy can still see you, smell you, even if you don't communicate. It's just that I'm in your presence. That's an inkling of hope. So if you gone, be gone for real. Don't let that stuff linger on you. Be gone. Be gone.
Man, because see what happened was we got like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no. when you have tangible things together, when you got tangible things together, I be over certain things, right? But when you got tangible things together, and little tangible things, it's kind of hard not to be around. I guess I couldn't listen.
Don't stay for the kids. Don't stay for the kids. Now, mind you, it's
I'm
always
not. Hold on, wait,
no. It always seems to be these good bill paying brothers that need to get left.
Nah.
Okay.
Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. I'm just saying, like, I believe in beautiful co-parenting. No. I ain't talking about nothing because ain't nothing been below in a long motherfucking time. Okay, so it's the Sahara Desert of this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? With little cactus plants and shit. Anyway, so yeah, ain't. I just like the flow of beautiful co-parenting, and I think that sometimes people got to put their pride aside and make sure that things can flow in a beautiful manner and work cohesively and that type of thing or whatever. So yeah, that. But so we kind of like skipped over a really important topic, and I like to highlight, a lot of the things that are going on, especially with our young Black beautiful people. So I think actually, so I can't even. I want to say her name is Naomi. Is it Osaka? Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Naomi Osaka is officially the highest paid female athlete ever at 22. Okay. She racked up 37 million earnings in the past year, more than any other female in the history, according to Forbes. And that is super fucking dope. The hefty bag from the past 12 months come from prize money and endorsements, 1.4 million more than earned Serena, setting in the all-time earning records for the most female athlete in a single year. Wow. Like another tennis player, like we're not even going to say her name because that doesn't even really matter. This is all about Naomi. As far as her standing for the highest paid athletes, including men, Naomi ranks number 29 among Forbes' highest paid athletes, while Serena ranks number 33. I don't even like that comparison. Why does it even have to be that kind of lineup against us? I'm sure there are some other white players or athletes, but anyway, it's actually the first time since 2015 that two women have made the ranks of the 100 highest paid athletes, and that is a major win and a super dope highlight. So shout out to Naomi and Serena. Shout out to everybody taking a win, for the culture, for the team, and yeah, we're doing big things. I just hope that we keep doing bigger and bigger and bigger and better things as we move forward. So yeah, we about to close out this show. We miss you, Cyrus. I'm sorry that you couldn't be with us here today. So ladies, where can they find y'all? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll also be rushing a little bit.
Take your time.
My bad. Huh? I was looking at the time and I thought it said 9:58 on versus. And I realized we got a little bit more time. So I'm going to go ahead and get y'all opinion as far as her being the highest paid athlete and all that other good stuff.
I think it's dope. I think I need to get my child involved in sports. I might have lost out on you, but this little one is a future gymnast. I swear to God.
Always flipping somewhere and climbing something, I'm sure. That's what my daughter does as well.
Oh my God. I could tell you how many times my child flips in this living room, in this kitchen, just
everywhere. That's her calling. Yep. They doing the hand, the one leg put up hand joint with their hand and doing bridges. Are you athletic, Chuck? You look a little athletic.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Never ran track, never did a cheerleading.
I got 200 jokes. I'm a good reader. Not physical. I can do volleyball. That's about it. I'm not a good physical person.
No, but you are athletic. Some people are naturally athletically shaped, and I really thought that I was like, oh, she must have did cheerleading track. Because your legs you got long. I'm not trying
I definitely do that, but I got kicked off of every team because I was no good. I tried it all, but I couldn't do none of that. I was so uncoordinated.
Yeah, nah. Well, I love to see us showing up in numbers and we on the charts and we getting on the map and so many different other things. And I'm not saying finally being recognized, but I'm glad that we're recognizing one another more than anything else. And yeah, but we need to start competing against others, not so much within our own community and stuff. So yeah, you know, I'm black. I'm for everything black. So,
Right. Power.
you know what I'm saying? So okay, so now, you know what I'm saying, now I can kind of bring it all back in full circle. Y'all bear with me. I really tried to get my flow. I did not have all the things that I was supposed to have. I was not all the way prepared, but I was on time today and I was here and you could hear me even though I had one glitch or two. It still was a little bit of a flow. So I appreciate everybody for dealing with, you know, me finding my flow. But I promise my next go round, I'm gonna be more prepared and I'll be better for y'all. But yeah, y'all can find me on. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pass it on over to T Gray or Chalk. You know what I'm saying? Where can they find y'all? Y'all go ahead and go first. I'm supposed to be. Yeah, my bad. I told y'all I'm getting it together, y'all. Deal with me, man. Next time I'm not gonna smoke or drink before the show.
Listen. It is okay. Okay, hold all your substances until the end of the show. No problem.
You're right.
I can smoke before show me, but y'all know that.
Man, I'm not together. I'm usually a little sharper than this. With at least with my, you know, my verbiage.
We get it together.
I know I am. I'm being a. I'm sorry. I will not do this again. I promise.
And she raised
it. You know what? You made it through the most.
So you guys can find me.
Drinking
over there. If you're older, so I can do whatever.
So you guys can find me at the love below _ sex talk with T Gray. That's where I'm at all day, every day, on everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Same chick all the time. Use the pretty face talking trash with all the comedians. That be me.
Ooh, yes, it'll be here. And you can find your girl Chop at the plug Pretty Best Friend on Instagram. And yeah, hit me up.
Okay, and finally, I'm gonna close it out. I think I'm gonna do this right this time. Okay. You can find me at Magical AF Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and that's it. But or Lucky Lay, or Lucky Lay _ Marie, or at Cynthia Sweet. Y'all know the girl with the flower power for the hour, all that good stuff. Yeah, my daughter wants me to give her some water, but anyway, yeah, let me go back to being a mom. But y'all, that's where y'all can find me, and it was such a joy being with y'all today, and I'm glad that I was able to be visible. They say hi, Layla. Say hi. So can you say shout out? Shout out to Illustrate Radio.
Shout out to Illustrate Radio.
Powered by Bliss FM. Say powered by Bliss FM.
Never.
Well, y'all get the point. Thank you, everyone, for being with us.
Thank you for listening.
Yay.
Sweet.